Thanks for joining me on News Today. Now, the Industrial and Commercial Workers Union, ICU, has given its backing to workers of the new Times Corporation as they demonstrate today, demanding better conditions of service. When Joy News visited the premises of Times today, demonstrators complained that the last time they had a salary increase was 7 years ago. They also claimed the managing director, Carol Annan, has taken over the work of the National Paper's chief accountant, chief procurement officer and chief auditor, and they want her sacked.
So this is actually the mood here at the Times Corporation, where staff and workers are protesting over poor conditions of service. Now speaking to the chairman of this particular union, Mrs. Budo, she tells me that they're actually just protesting within a short time because of the management's failure to honor their promise over the years.
Because our working conditions continue to be bad. All promises from management has been empty for years now. And so at this moment, we see it's very necessary to come out of that shield that we have been. We have been quiet for a very long time. And it is the time for us to let the whole country and the world to hear that things are not working well in New Times Corporation.
If you say promises, what kind of promises were you given by the management?
Yes, on yearly basis, as negotiation goes on, they continue to promise workers that things will be fine. But we have never seen that, and nothing has ever gone better for us. The promise of salary increment has been ranging from 11%, 3%, and COLA.
I didn't hear you.
They give us 11% some 2 years ago. Then they gave us COLA, also last year. Then, COLA the previous year. Then they gave us 3%. This is unheard of. 3% is nothing to carry home about.
So that's the main reason why you are protesting today?
We are protesting. Apart from that, our own money, which is the Provident Fund, has been sat on. Provident Fund, management have denied workers of their Provident Fund. And so they said we cannot access our Provident Fund, money being contributed by workers, they are 5%. And that of the corporation, they said we cannot access this. Reason being that they have allowed workers to take loans from Ghana Commercial Bank, and so they are using workers' PF as collateral for our PF.
Is that what you were told?
Yes, that's what they told us. When we wrote that we wanted to take part of our PF, management said our PF has been used as collateral.
So when you spoke to management about this, I'm sure that you wanted to reach a consensus before this particular protest. What did they tell you?
With the PF, they said nothing. We can never do anything. And that is not the best. Once the condition of service is not good, salary is bad. And monies that are being invested on our own behalf, our own money, they have also denied us or taken that money. What do they want us to do?
Okay. So this protest that you are doing today, is it going to be the whole day? Are you going to be working? What is going to be happening?
We are doing a protest just for some few hours. We'll go back to work because we pay ourselves. Workers of New Times Corporation are not being paid by anyone apart from ourselves. And so once we are self-accounts, we'll protest tomorrow, we'll go back and work, and then we'll continue to do production on.
I'm Ransford Wisdom Norte, Olabi. Okay, the reason why we are protesting is that, firstly, we rebrand our product, that is Ghanaian Times newspaper. And management told us that we must service our machines so that they will reblind our product. Fine. For about a month now. They were saying we have a small faulty on our machine. But that same machine we used to print Spectator. It's a product of this very corporation. But we print Spectator every week here. And Spectator come out successfully. Why can't we print New Times newspaper here? But you send it to, graphic. Because he said, because of our printing, the corporation cannot get a color advert. For the past 1 month, if I may ask, how many color adverts have we got? a New Times Corporation newspaper. Pay 17,000 cedis every day. And also, if I will say from my own personal experience, graphic is sabotaging us. Sometimes our people used to come out around 7 a.m. How are we going to do it to send the paper to Kumasi, to Northern region, Central region, if the paper is out 7 o'clock? Whilst graphic is down there about 4 a.m. Somebody came here to buy this machine on credit basis. He have paid the machine. He bought us plant. He have paid the plant. He tie all the corporation in the yard. And he also give workers 50%. You are giving us 1%, 2% and everything. We are demanding for 20%. He said he cannot give us. What are we doing? Are we trying to collapse the corporation? Are we trying to collapse the corporation? Because of personal interest, somebody's personal interest. How this thing is going on. How many color address did we get in New Times Corporation newspaper? Since we went to Ghana graphic, enough is enough. Management has to sit up and see the welfare. And see the welfare of the workers. We have a lot of contract workers there in which the corporation cannot employ them, but they employ their protocol people. People are here for about 6 years, 7 years on contract basis.
But they bring their people under them.
Please, please, we said enough is enough.
Solomon Kotter, General Secretary of the ICU, assured concerns of the workers will be forwarded to the Sector Minister for appropriate actions to be taken to restore Ghanaian Times to its former glory.
The action that we have witnessed here this morning is a direct result of workers getting fed up with management at the workplace. I believe strongly this morning what you have exhibited, you have not touched any property, you have not touched any life. You are only expressing your total dissatisfaction against the kind of management we have at place, and especially against the managing director. The issues that we have on hand is such that we will catalog the issues and take them to the sector minister as it stands now. We are not putting ourselves before the Labour Commission because we know the structures of this particular enterprise. We will not sit down and allow one person to come and see the demise of this great institution. What we see as the mismanagement is for us to have a big company like Times and we have only 2 products. Besides the Times and the Spectator, nothing is there for us again. Other businesses that we get even through government agencies have all also died down. And what has brought us to this stage is the fact that last year, when we came to negotiate, management were pleading, telling us all stories. And unprecedented, workers decided, give us just 3% for us to rule on. With this pinch of insult, we didn't collect even a back pay, and we took that, hoping that this year things will organize for us. Then from nowhere, we were told we are rebranding the paper. We thought we would bring some efficiency and some profitability to this particular arrangement, only for us to go and surrender to our main competitor and ask our main competitor to do the printing for us. And every day on daily basis, we don't pay less than 17,300. And how much are we making as Times? Now, at the moment at the table, union is saying that we are sacrificing every other item of our condition of service. Let's only look at the salary that has been in arrears for several years, because what we should have negotiated normally, we have left it because we are all thinking the business must come out. This have not been done. And whilst we are asking, give us 20% and let's look on. Somebody will ask, 20% of what? Our basic pay is among the lowest we can find in this country. And besides this, people resign and their end of service benefits are not being paid to them. People die and their next of kin are working here up and down. Nothing is being done to them. but yet they find the inventory to buy themselves vehicles and to give themselves over 11 allowances that are paid in the midst of this crisis. We are here this morning to encourage all of us that it is not because of these people times will die off. We shall resume back to work, and we shall ensure that she will not step a foot back into this company. We are getting back. We are getting back. We are getting back to the sector minister and put our case across. And I may wish to congratulate all of you, because we are going to get back to work and make sure what we will do to keep this job going, we are going to do it. But then our demand is that the MD is no more stepping here. If she has become the chief accountant herself, she has become the procurement manager herself, she has become the general administrator herself, before being the managing director, we think the workers here, this will not work, and will not sit down and allow this thing to continue. Now, to show our professionalism and to show that we are here and we care about our work, I want to plead with all of us, let's get back, let's get to our regional colleagues and make sure that we do our work as it is, and ensure that whatever we do to bring Times on the winning waves of profitability, we shall all together get it done, so that what is due us shall be paid to us. Thank you very much.
Well, President of the Ghana Journalists Association had a few words for the workers.
So our appeal is to the stakeholders to rally together to address what is happening with urgent promptitude. One grievance is that Ghana Times is bleeding financially from printing at a competitor, and I believe this is something that can be resolved. The Provident Fund, which has not been invested, I believe it wouldn't take much to invest the Provident Fund. This is a low-hanging fruit which can easily be fixed. We also learned that the workers have not enjoyed salary increase for years. Again, this is something this is a labor issue which can easily be handled. And all that we are pleading, that Ghana Times should return to normalcy as soon as possible for them to get back to their normal output. And I believe the longer they lay down their tools, the more the financial hemorrhage intensifies.
As President of the Ghana Journalists Association, Afil Moni. Away from that, lectures are ongoing at some public universities, even though the University Teachers Association of Ghana has declared a nationwide strike beginning today. The indefinite strike is to resist what they call an attack on academic freedom. The strike declaration follows a court order asking the Vice-Chancellor of the University of Education, Winneba, to step aside. The University Teachers Association of Ghana, UTAG, says the imposition of an acting Vice-Chancellor on the University of Education, Winneba, is against the university's acts and statutes and constitutes an attack on academic freedom. Maxwell Agbagba visited the University of Ghana campus and reports lecturers were teaching contrary to the directive from their mother union.
About 5 different classrooms, and lecturers are in there. And classes are happening. Students, some of the classes are actually full. A lot of students are also trickling in, because we know that there would also be a 9:30 class. So the 7:30 class, which ends at 9:30, is currently ongoing here at the John Scotty building. On our way, we went through the University of Ghana Business School. There also classes are happening. Also at the new end block, that's the NNB1, NNB2, NNB3. Classes are happening this month. That's the 7:30 to 9:30 class. And even as we stand here, we see some of the students walking here for their 9:30 class. I have some students here who are going to join us to tell us whether they heard of the strike, and then whether they are surprised to see classes happening. Let me start off with you, Caleb. Caleb, you were telling me that you knew that there was going to be a strike. but there's no strike. It looks like your lecturers are actually in class teaching at this moment. You should be excited.
Yes, I must say I'm very excited. Yesterday, I think 2 days ago when I heard the news, I was shook. But then coming here today, knowing that, yes, the lecturers have come here to teach us, I'm quite excited myself. And SEM just began. We can't be having strikes here and there which will affect our studies. So I must say I'm excited.
Okay.
Yes.
Let me find out from you also. There are some who are saying that, well, for an incident that's playing out on the University of Education Winneba campus, we don't see how it affects us here on the University of Ghana campus. I've heard some of these concerns raised by your own colleagues. I don't know what you also think about that.
Well, for me, as my colleagues have said earlier, that it shouldn't necessarily affect other institutions. But last week, I heard from one radio station, that's Radio Universe, and they called the president, and he was asked why why this should affect other institutions, and he was of the views that it's better they stop this thing now before it affects other institutions, because if they're only going to concentrate on Winneba, then next time it might be another university. So it's better they generalize everything so that it doesn't, in the future to come, it doesn't affect other institutions as well.
Well, they described the ruling by the Winneba High Court as an attack on academic freedom. So in solidarity, they are also calling the strike. But let me find out from you what do you also make of that. There are some who are saying, look, we are here on the University of Ghana campus and we don't think that this should affect us.
Yes, I think that, as the adage goes, that if you see your brother's beard burning, you should try to get water attached to yours.
Some people say you should enter the well.
Some people even say that you should shave your beard, you understand? Yeah, so I am of the view that, with something of this nature happening on the University of Education, Winneba's campus, moving forward as a nation, okay, even as students embarking on our academic journey, I believe that we shouldn't sit down, aloof, and then allow certain things to happen. I'm of the view that, government should step in. I also know that the ruling was from the Winneba High Court, and with that, government cannot just step in and then make a pronouncement. However, I think that they should expedite measures to facilitate the resolution of the matter so that things can go on well with us. Yeah.
Well, if you look at this, the statement, the press release by the University Teachers Association of Ghana, they are saying that it looks like the Ministry of Education itself is sitting on consent, not looking at ways to resolve this issue amicably, and the newly inaugurated board, governing board also are not really looking at resolving this matter anytime soon. But we've seen these things happen, especially on the University of Ghana campus, where UTAG declares strike, but lecturers still go to class to teach. And then later in the day, or in the subsequent days, the second day, the 10th day, then you get lecturers not really, coming to class. Do you harbor any fear that even though lecturers are in class this morning, maybe tomorrow they would not be in class?
All right. I don't harbor any fear because when news broke out, I think Saturday or so, I did hear that even where the issue actually started, that is UEW, lecturers rejected that strike. So once the situation emanated from the place and lecturers have rejected it, then I am not affected at all.
You think it's a case of crying more than the bereaved?
Yes, I do think so myself.
So that's the story here in Accra, the University of Ghana, Legon campus. We go over to Kwesi Deborah, who is at KNUST campus in Kumasi. Hello, Kwesi.
Hello, Bennett.
So are lecturers at KNUST obeying the orders of their national body, UTAG?
No, we went to department after department, faculty after faculty, and I can tell you for a fact that classes are in session and lectures are taking place. We spoke with some of the students, and some were absolutely oblivious of what is taking place. Some we asked, and they said that they heard it from their colleagues, from their counterparts at the University of Education, and also from the University of Ghana, Legon. But they were expecting that classes will not come off. But they went to class today, and everything is in session. We spoke with the University Relation Officer, that's Mr. Kwame Eboa, and he said that they've now received notification. That's a letter from the body, that's from UTAG. So now the Vice Chancellor has received his copy, and they are now going to see through so that they can take an action. But now, Finances saw the lecturers, and they said they have no idea what is taking place. And some, because they have not received the notification, they cannot take any action. Then
Thank you very much, Kwesi Deborah, there coming to us from the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, KNUST in Kumasi. Now let's get to Martina Bugri, who is at the University of Development Studies campus. Hello, Martina.
Hi, Bennett.
Which of the campuses of UDS are you, and what can you report from there?
The Lungu campus. Currently, lectures is ongoing at the Faculty of Education. I saw them teaching. Some other departments, they are teaching. I spoke to some of the students who said since morning they've been attending lectures. And so there seems to be no strike at the UDS. I spoke to some of the lecturers, even though they wouldn't come on camera. They said they are not aware a strike is ongoing, and so they are teaching. They also tell me that their curriculum is a bit different from the other universities, and so they have just come and they are started lectures.
So apart from what the lecturers have been telling you, have you had a response from the, local UTAG chapter there?
Come again, Ben.
I was asking if you've heard anything from the local UTAG chapter there.
I tried to reach him, but currently he's not available, and so we are yet to speak to him.
All right, thank you very much, Martina. I would have to leave it here. Let's now speak to Dr. Ahmed Jinapo, who is a lecturer. He joins us on the line. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Many thanks for your time here. What is the current situation as regards this UTAG strike?
Well, I think the current situation is something that your cherished viewers are much aware of, which is National UTAG has declared a strike, and that strike starts today. And if yes,
you are the University of Education, Winneba. What we are picking from some of the other campuses of public universities is that the lecturers are still teaching and are not adhering to this directive.
Well, if you are aware, the directive was issued last week that if nothing is done by today, the strike will take effect from today. And with these things, it takes some time. But UTAG, UEW, has been on strike since July 14th. And I think at the end of the day, whether you are a lecturer who supports the strike or not, it's not an issue of whether you support it or not. It's our issue of principle. The principle being that NEC, which is National UTAG, met and did take a decision that based on what has been happening, which is infringement on academic freedom, UTAG should go on strike. And as we speak, I am supposed to teach today, but I'm not teaching. And a number of us, most of us, are not teaching. So that is what it is. But we believe that what is happening at UW today is happening to a member of UTAG, which is Professor Avoke. Tomorrow it might happen to the Vice Chancellor of Cape Coast or the Vice Chancellor of LUV. So we think this issue needs to be resolved. But unfortunately, it needs to be stated that there are some overtures by the leadership of the University of Education, Winneba, who happens to be in charge now, trying to more or less intimidate people through issuance of threats that they are going to be fired. I don't think that's the right way to go. The right way to go is for us to try as much as possible to solve this issue amicably, and if possible to refer to the due process of the law. I mean, if you think that the strike action that has been called by National UTAG is one that you don't agree to, you go to court. But as it stands now, I think that there's full support for the strike, and we hope that the strike will be an instrument or a vehicle for solving this problem.
You say you have full support for the strike, but like I mentioned, we've picked up reports from quite a number of public universities, and it looks like lecturers aren't striking. What's the situation in specific at UEW? Are lectures going on now?
Well, lectures are not going on, and I made reference to the fact that we have been on strike since July 14th. But it's instructive to note that this whole issue is one that a few people are going to be beneficiaries of it. And those people might probably say they are not going to adhere to the strike. But it's a decision that has been taken, and it's a collective decision by National UTAG. And I think that it's instructive for each and every law-abiding lecturer to go by it. But I believe that nobody wants to go on strike. But we need to register our protest so that the right thing is going to be done. And we hope that this strike will more or less call the power players and the influential people within the spectrum of education enterprise, especially within the tertiary educational sector, to see to that this issue is resolved. Nobody wants to go on strike, but we are doing it based on what's on principle.
Thank you very much for your time this afternoon. Dr. Ahmed Jinapo is a lecturer at the University of Education, Winnipeg. Now, Richard Kojo-Nyako is our Cape Coast correspondent and brings us what's happening at the Cape Coast University. Hello, Richard.
Hi, Benny.
Is the situation any different at the Cape Coast University?
Well, I can tell you for a fact that the lecturers here are in the lecture theater and they are teaching. Activities on campus are normal. The lecturers have received, or some of them have acknowledged receipt of some circulars that they should strike, but they say that they don't see the need for them to strike. They also say that they see some kind of political kind of football that is at play there. They sense that there is a turf war, it's a power play. Some politicians would want to outwit the system and the others. So until a meeting is called and they see that there are legitimate issues to be addressed, for which reason they should embark on a strike, they aren't going to join the nationwide strike action.
Thank you very much, Richard Kojo-Nyako, bringing us what's happening at the University of Cape Coast. Meanwhile, Member of Parliament for Efutu, Alex Afenyo-Marking, says the strike by the University Teachers Association of Ghana is in defiance of the court. The MP, who was lawyer for the former Assembly member demanding the removal of the UEW Vice-Chancellor, says the lecturers are acting in bad faith.
The strike action, as declared by UTAG, is only aimed at stampeding the court process as well as undermining the authority of the court. The issue is very simple. That is whether or not the governing council that made certain appointments had the authority to do so, having regard to the tenure of that governing council. The court, in its wisdom, granted the interim reliefs sought by the plaintiff to the effect that those who benefited from the said questionable appointment be restrained. UTAG, as an independent association, applied to join. Their lawyer, Dr. Atuguba, made their case for them in court. The court dismissed their application to join. They subsequently filed an appeal. As we speak, according to the substantive counsel in the matter, UTAG has filed all the written legal submissions pursuant to the appeal. Now, we have a date to go back to court for the matter to be heard. We are going back to court on the 9th, 10th, and 11th of October. The judge or the court, considering how urgent the matter is, gave 3 straight dates for us to consider, for the court to hear the matter. Why then would UTAG attempt to stampede such a process by claiming that there is an interference in academic freedom, and there is an interference in academic independence, and that no court can order somebody to act? If they have issues, they should deal with it in court. Why a strike action? The motive is clear. You don't use tribal solidarity or fraternal solidarity to undermine the authority of the court. Is it the case that they are saying that the court, as constituted, did not have the mandate? If so, they know what to do. So I would urge UTAG to do the needful. If we all don't respect the rule of law and would want to do anything as we please, then of course, democracy cannot thrive.
If you look at the reasons given by UTAG for this strike, they have reason to believe that this current governing council for the University of Education has acted in a way to show that they are not interested in pursuing the case by, for instance, withdrawing the appeal from the court. So this could be a way of putting pressure on the university's governing council.
Well, I'm not the spokesperson for the university's current governing council. But if you are talking about an appeal by the university as a party, I can tell you on authority that the appeal still subsists. They have not withdrawn their appeal. There's an appeal. They appealed against the decision by the court to restrain those who benefited from the decision of the defunct governing council. There's an appeal on record. No appeal has been withdrawn. There's an appeal on record. So what is the issue? In any event, they themselves as a body, if you recall, when the matter was being heard in July, they first closed down the university as a way of putting pressure on the court and government not to achieve whatever purpose they so desire. And again, the UTAG president was on record by
That was MP for Ifuta Alexander Afenyomakin in a conversation with my colleague Daniel Dadzi. You're watching Joy News today. We'll take a quick breather. We'll bring you more news shortly. Many thanks for staying here on Joy News today. Now, a lawyer for the Just Bond Group has suspended notice of discontinuation of injunction application. This, according to Soa Chawe, because there's been recent developments that warrant that they put their notice to withdraw their injunction application on hold, despite the fact that he has not served Manasseh, his lawyer, or the court. Lawyers for Just Bond Group of Companies last month filed an application for injunction to stop ministries and other departments of government from giving Manasseh Azure and the multimedia group information on its contracts, but did a U-turn today citing recent development, insisting they are likely to continue. The court then decided to adjourn to October 18. Chairman of the Just Bond Group of Companies, Joseph Siawe Jepong, is trying to block the ministries, departments and agencies from giving information to the multimedia group as part of its investigation into allegations of malfeasance involving his companies. Mr. Siawe Jepong early this year sued Joy News' Manasseh Azure for defamation over Manasseh's Facebook post warning the MPP government against signing the kind of contracts the NDC government signed with the Zoomlion and other companies owned by Joseph Siawe Jepong. Mr. Japong's claims if the MMDAs cooperate with the multimedia group in the ongoing investigation, it will be a prejudice on the matter pending in court. Now, the Convention People's Party, CPP, has challenged the New Patriotic Party MPP administration to a national debate on the establishment of August 4 as Founders' Day holiday. Communications Director of the party, Abdul Rauf Kadiri, is convinced the people of Ghana will rise against the decision by the President to recognize the formation of the Aborigines Rights Protection Society, ARPS, and the United Gold Coast Convention, UGCC, as these groups were not formed with the intention of seizing immediate independence for Ghana. He was speaking to Daniel Dadzi on News Desk.
The best way that we can resolve this issue as a people or as a state is for the President to open a national debate so that the people would actually draw curtains, would draw finality to this matter. But for example, if you think that you are holding the executive powers of the state and you want to take any decision that you think is going to float your boat, in future another person will hold executive power and also reverse it. So if he wants us to resolve this matter once and for all, they should open national debates. Let it be argued across the country and let the people of Ghana take a position on the matter, and that will be fine. But if you want to use the the advantage of executive authority to just issue an instrument, yes, you can do that, but it will be temporal because it will be challenged. But if we open up and the people themselves debate it, open all the radio stations, the TV stations, call us, call them, let's come and debate the issue. Let's take the people of Ghana, those who do not have access to the history, let's take them back into historical lane. Let's go, let's do the analysis fairly and factually. You will see that we are going to win the day. And that is why they don't want to open national debate on this matter.
And if you lose, what happens?
We are not going to lose because we are standing on the side of truth. That is why Nana Akufo-Addo and his team, they can't open it for debate.
Abdul Rauf Kadiri believes the institution of the new holiday was not for the nation's interest, but for the pleasure of the President's ancestry.
This decision of the President has not come to us as something surprising. To the President, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, this is not about the history of Ghana, it is about his ancestry. Okay. So, for example, when you look at the argument that has been put forth against, you find that it's lame, it's completely flawed. It has no historical basis. So, for example, when you look at the year on which the Aboriginal Right Protection Society was formed, and you look at the motto or the objective of the Aboriginal Right Protection Society, it was very clear that they actually wanted to send a clear signal to the whites that there was no free land in the Gold Coast. And for that matter, those lands belong to communities and they belong to the people which were held in trust by the chiefs. Their objective was not to win independence for Ghana. They just wanted certain social and constitutional changes in their land of birth. Now let's look at the objective for the formation of the UGCC on 4th August 1947. It was formed with the motto that they wanted self-government within the shortest possible time. And you recall very clearly that this idea of self-government within the shortest possible time was the same understanding in South Africa, and they got their independence in 1993.
Away from that, private lotto operators known as banker to banker are calling for the dismissal of Director General of the National Lottery Authority for his failure to regularize their activities. They accuse Kofi Osei-Amel of ignoring the potential of over 2,000 operators to contribute to the local and national economy. Rather, he's choosing to establish special courts to prosecute them. The Umbrella Association addressed a press conference in Kumasi. LUV FM's ERASTUS ASARE DONKOR was there and joins us via phone with updates. Hello, ERASTUS.
Yeah.
So what exactly are these operators calling for?
Well, currently is the concerned voters movement who are speaking for these banker-to-banker operators. Now, what they are raising is that if the Director General goes out to say that he has set out a deadline and that people are going to be arrested, they disagree. And they think that the National Lotto Act 2006 requires amendments to remove the legal monopoly of the National Lottery Authority. And they say that the National Lottery Authority should only be empowered as the regulator of the lotto industry in Ghana with the powers to grant license to the operators of banker-to-banker lottery. Now, they have spelled out some recommendations they are sending to the President and the Finance Ministry. One, they are asking the President and Ministry of Finance to authorize the suspension of the full implementation of the National Lotto Act 2006 and the Lottery Regulations 2008 indefinitely, awaiting the amendments to the Act 722 and LI 1948 by Parliament of Ghana. And they are saying that the NLA should be made only a regulatory body under the amended Lotto Act. They want government to authorize the operations of banker-to-banker lottery under the supervision and regulation by the district assemblies and NLA, awaiting the amendment to the National Lotto Act 2006. And he thinks that they make so much money, they can also pay tax to the state. And so the Director General of the lottery institution should not be thinking of arresting them, but to regularize them and make them to pay tax to the state.
All right, ERASTUS, were these operators speaking on behalf of their colleagues dotted across the country, or this is just coming from those in Kumasi?
Well, they are saying the concerned voters movement, they are saying that they have conducted deep research, and their research is informed by concerns of the various banker-to-banker operators dotted across the country, and they have filed this document, the petition. They've already served the Chief of Staff to be presented to the President. The President has heard them, and they want something done about it. So they claim it's the voice of the banker-to-banker operators across the country.
And if this call or if this petition to the President doesn't go their way, what will they do?
Well, they are saying that they will bring a second petition and a third one, which details other things that they have researched into, some secrets within the current operation of the NLA, which they think are not constitutional. They will keep doing that, and then later on they will consider the legal aspect of it.
Thank you very much, ERASTUS ASARE DONKOR, coming to us from the Ashanti region's capital, Kumasi.